Jada's back at it here to give everyone in their Walking Dead Season 8 episode reaction video. But before I get into that, it's extremely important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead, that you take the initiative and pay attention to this episode title, which of course I'll put in the description for you. If that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This is going to be The Walking Dead Season 8 episode number 14. Title of this episode is called Still Gotta Mean Something. This will be my reaction review recap of the episode. Keep in mind, I've seen it a couple times. Just doing a reaction to it, I have it on my channel. And doing reactions to these videos due to the fact that they announced that season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show. So I have to have every episode on this channel because it's The Walking Dead. We start off with a flashback. Jadis playing dead to save herself from the massacre of the scavengers by Simon and the rest of the saviors. And in the present, she takes time to compose herself before collecting a captive Negan and carrying Lucille in a suitcase. Now, Negan tries to apologize for what happened to her people, recognizing that Simon had gone against his orders in wiping out the scavengers. But Jadis is steadfast and threatens to kill him. While she is out of sight, he is able to access her suitcase containing a gun and pictures from her past, convincing her to talk, lest he destroy them with a flare. Now, Negan reveals that he named his bat after his late wife, Lucille, and like Jadis's pictures, his bat is the last thing he has to remember his previous life. But that wasn't Lucille's bat. That was a bat that he found that he put barbed wire on and he named Lucille. Is that really a memory? At least Jadis has pictures of her people and herself, and the bat is, I don't know. Anyway, Jadis, her wristwatch beeps, and she suddenly rushes Negan to get the flare, but it is knocked out of her hands and into a puddle and extinguishes. Now, she races off to get another flare as the helicopter hovers over briefly overhead before disappearing. Too late to see Jadis' second flare. Jadis breaks down into tears and she lets Negan go. He offers her to come with him and follow a new path, but she refuses. So Negan is doing little things to redeem his character little by little. I mean, we're still furious at the fact that he killed Abraham and then Glenn in season 7, episode number 1, but he's doing little things here and there. And then meanwhile, the Hilltop community regroups after the Savior's attack. Tara unsuccessfully tries to sway Dwight or Daryl that Dwight is still loyal to them after the attack. Michonne tries to convince Rick to read his son Carl's last message to him, but he cannot come to do it. Instead, he decides to locate the escaped Savior prisoners, and Alden suggests that he check a nearby bar and not to kill them because some of them just made a rational decision where they should have probably stayed, but they're not going to do anything crazy if Rick just takes them back to the hilltop. And then Morgan feels guilt for Henry's disappearance, as Henry had been seeking vengeance on Jared, the savior that killed his brother. But Morgan didn't tell him that, so he doesn't know. And of course, he's seeking vengeance because of Morgan's pupil, Benjamin, that got killed. So he goes out to look for him, accompanied by Carol. They find a walker with Henry's weapon through it, and Morgan believes Henry must be dead and instead heads further down the road, while Carol goes in the direction the walker came from to find Henry. Now, Morgan meets up with Rick, and while they avoid a walker horde heading towards the bar, they are captured by escaped saviors led by Jared. Oh, fucking Jared, I tell you. And when Rick and Morgan come to in the bar, they find the saviors arguing loudly amongst themselves about returning to the hilltop. Rick promises amnesty to anybody who wants to return and warns of a approaching horde, but it comes too late as the walkers flood the bar. Some of the saviors cut Rick and Morgan loose out of their bonds, and then Rick helps to eliminate walkers, but then turns on the remaining saviors because he doesn't give a shit and doesn't trust them. And then Morgan chases down Jared and purposely traps him in a room with the walkers, leaving Jared to die. So Jared gets ate up by a bunch of walkers, as he will no longer be the person that we know of. And then as they collect themselves, Rick asks Morgan what changed to make him vengeful since the first meeting. Morgan replies that he had his son back then. Meanwhile, Carol is able to find Henry fending off walkers. She helps him, or helps rescue him, I should say, and takes him back to the hilltop for a happy reunion. Rick and Morgan return, and Morgan soonly informs Henry he killed Jared. Henry says he's sorry, but Morgan tells him to never say once sorry and walks off alone. In his room, Rick tearfully reads the letter that Carl wrote him, which is a very sad scene. And then elsewhere, Daryl and Rosita discover the Savior's ammunition factory, where Eugene is helping to keep their ammo supply going. And Daryl and Rosita plot to kill the men running the factory to end the supply. Concurrently, Negan is en route back to the sanctuary when he finds a familiar face to Negan and offers them a ride. And then back at the sanctuary, the gate guards are surprised to see Negan alive, believing he had been killed based on what Simon had told them. They let Negan and his passenger in, but Negan tells them not to tell anybody else about his return, and that's how the episode ends. So, pretty good episode. Morgan and Rick kicked some serious ass in this episode, and it was exciting. We finally got rid of Jared. I mean, at least as a human, he'll be a walker now. I don't think we see him again, but we don't have to deal with his like smirks and his fucking attitude. I can't stand that character. So I'm gonna rate this episode a 8.5 out of 10. Really entertaining episode. Sad part with Rick reading Carl's letter. The character of the episode, that's a tough one. I could give it to Rick, I could give it to Morgan, I could give it to Negan, I could even give it to Jadis. I'm going to give it to Negan because I think Rick and Morgan cancel each other out, and Negan did more in this episode as far as trying to redeem his character just a little bit here and there. So, but good episode. I enjoyed it. You've heard what I... So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like this episode from Season 8, it's still got to mean something. Or maybe you didn't like it, but you're a fan of The Walking Dead despite this episode, and you're essentially a super fan, and this show essentially changed your life, changed your view on a TV show, go ahead and smash that like button. If you know anyone that would be interested in listening to this and, giving comments back, go ahead and share the video with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section with your thoughts on the episode. Anything Walking Dead related would be fine. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.